Local Women Magazine presents Local Women Podcast, the show for things that matter.
Hi and welcome to Local Women Podcast. We're doing a health podcast today and I'm joined by Staci from Mama Placenta. So if you're a mum-to-be or interested in postpartum health and well-being, this is a podcast you really want to listen to. Welcome, Staci.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. I've been dying to get you on, as you know, as I've serial messaged you. I'm so interested to hear all about the placenta encapsulation and postpartum health and well-being and your holistic approach. But how did you get into this?
Probably through my own personal experience. I am a mum of two, and I always say, it started actually back with my first, who was 11 past. I had a really rough birth with him, and it actually had stemmed on into postnatal depression and anxiety. And I don't think I realised how dark of a place I actually was in until I came out of it. And I think a lot of mums would agree with that. You kind of just go into a bit of a survival mode. Fast forward 7 years, I fall pregnant then with my second. So I was definitely anxious about experiencing the same kind of thing that I did with my first, because it did rob us of, them beautiful moments of that wee love bubble just a few months after. And so I'd done a lot of preparation through my second pregnancy, obviously, to have a more of empowered birth. And I do think there is so many steps along the way. I prepped for birth, and then obviously the postpartum came with that as well. And I do think it's the most neglected part of the birthing process. We're very much into, prepping for the new baby coming, prepping for the birth. And then you have this wee baby and you're just kind of thrown out to the big bad world. And then it's like,
Nobody warned you.
Nobody warned you for that part. So obviously I had that experience with my first. So this was something that was like really, I was really passionate about. So I'd done hypnobirthing then with my second.
Lovely.
I was actually going through COVID at the time as well. So we were really in heavy COVID whenever I was pregnant. So that kind of came with its own challenges in itself. So the hypnobirthing then was put online, and it was my hypnobirthing instructor that had actually started to talk about the placenta and this. And so it was just kind of like dropping the wee seeds at that point. I thought, oh my God, that's so interesting. But again, didn't know anybody that had actually done it, and it was a very new kind of topic. So I had done a little bit of research on it myself, seen that it was massive in America, really big in Australia. And then, of course, takes us about 10 years to kind of jump on the bandwagon with anything, especially as alternative as this. So I had found somebody local that had actually encapsulated my placenta. And at that point, I thought, like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Like, my body has created it. It has nourished my wee baby. And if I ingest it again and it came from me, it surely can't do that much bad. And thankfully, it was the best thing that I had actually ever done for myself, not only for me, but for my family, because they actually got that best version of myself through them times. And when you're in that postpartum stage, it is the biggest hormonal crash a woman will ever go through. I'm sure any woman can agree with that who has children.
Yep.
Nothing could prepare you for it. All the books and the planning during pregnancy cannot prepare you for them emotions that are soon to follow. But my two experiences were night and day. And I know I'd done a lot of preparation, and I felt really, I suppose, in control of, the birth and the postpartum stage. But I just knew it was the placenta encapsulation that just made my journey so much smoother. I felt so balanced, like I had no dips at all. The only time that I actually cried was whenever I received the newborn pictures that I got. I was so emotional, but it was like really good emotions.
Happy tears.
Happy tears. And, I remember going through months then after this, I was like, this needs to be a thing. Like mums need this. And here's me breastfeeding a 4-month-old baby, and, obviously I had a 7-year-old child, and I was like still
Busy,
very, very busy. And something just clicked with me one day, and I says, I'm going to train. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this accessible for our local mums and give this service to mums of Ireland.
Right.
That's
So
what I
that
do.
was like the birth of Mama Placenta. And we've talked about encapsulation. So I think maybe for the listeners, we'll pull back a little bit and let them know if you could explain what placenta encapsulation actually is.
Of course. I actually offer few different remedies, but the placenta encapsulation is the main part of the placenta process. So um, I would give mums a cooler box 4 weeks before their due date. So I always try and explain it like you have to almost treat it like as it's food because mums are going to consume it.
Yeah.
So I actually am registered as a food business,
Yes.
as holistic as it is. You know, in order for me to follow them safety protocols, it is a food business. So this is why you would be given a cooler box to take into hospital. It has everything that it needs. Once baby is born, dad or the birthing partner will normally ring me and say, baby's here, placenta's boxed up. So either my courier will go and pick the placenta up, or dad or somebody will drop it off to me. I have built a standalone placenta lab, as you will.
Lovely.
So it just gives me reassurance and also the mums as well that it is processed under a very high hygiene and safety standard. So then I will obviously wash the placenta. There is 2 processes to the placenta encapsulation. So one is where it will be washed. It'll be dehydrated raw for about 16 hours until it's completely dried out. Then there's another stage that you can do is that you can steam it before the dehydration stage. So it's actually called the TCM method. So it's traditional Chinese medicine.
Okay.
This can give its own wee benefits or whatever. So there's 2 processes to the placenta encapsulation. So once it's dehydrated, it then be pulsified into a powder and then placed into capsules. And then obviously the mums then can consume it in a discreet and pleasant manner.
So it's a little capsule. And did you take 1, 2 a day, or what's the process then?
So obviously because them first 3 days are going to be like the big hormonal crash. So I would always advise mums get the nutrients back into your body as quickly as possible. I do have a really quick turnaround as well. I will try and have it back with mums definitely before day 3. So it'll be 6 capsules a day for the first week. The second week, then I'd tell them to go down to 3 capsules, and then from then on, between 1 and 2. But I always say to mums, listen to your body. You know, if you're going to have maybe a wee lower day, go back and take the 6 if you know if they're there. Or if there's days where you feel really mellow and you want to kind of make them last, take 1 to 2. But I always say then after week 3, then it's kind of on you. You take as many as you feel.
Okay. So the benefits obviously as to increase energy, mood level. Is there ones that anything else?
Well, there's I can speak obviously from my personal experience, but also from the hundreds of mums that I have helped along this journey. As I said, that hormonal crash will be the biggest hormonal crash that a woman will experience in their given life. So by reintroducing the placenta back into your body, mums are reporting balanced moods, no baby blues, no postnatal depression, increased milk supply. The placenta is really high in iron, so then obviously you're going to get more energy. Mums are actually reporting no hair loss. I know.
That was a big one for me.
Me too with my first, but I definitely noticed my hair was so thick. Obviously then whenever I'd stopped taking the capsules, I did notice a wee bit falling out then, but it did show me proof that when I was taking them, my body was getting everything that it had needed at that time.
So, and roughly, I mean, how long will a placenta last you as such? You know, how long that placenta?
It really depends on the size of the placenta. So I'm sure you can imagine.
They come in all shapes and
They come all different shapes and sizes and weights. So the bigger baby that you have, the bigger placenta that you'll have. And then obviously if it's steamed, that can reduce the size of the placenta as well. But you will get anywhere between 100 and 300 capsules. There's been mums that I've done that have had over 300 and then mums then around 100, but normally depending on the size of the placenta.
Right. And risk factors, is there anybody that can't have their placenta frozen? Is there any medical conditions?
Not normally. There is one, like if there's infections during birth, obviously is like a massive one. And I think as well you kind of have to trust your intuition with that because like if maybe they're in prolonged labour, things like that, that can all have its different sides. But mainly the one would be smoking. Obviously we're surrounded by toxins and environmental whatever, but one thing that we would recommend as a certified placenta specialist, that if you smoke, the placenta isn't it's basically, it's not a filter, but it is a filter. It'll go back in the ND. It won't stay in the placenta. It will filter back through mummy's body then, so mummy then can discrete it safely. But obviously, you know yourself with the risks of smoking.
Yeah.
There can be heavy metals and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that we would recommend.
Yeah, I think if you've ever seen, I used to be a midwife, but if you've ever seen a placenta of a smoker and a placenta of a non-smoker, the placenta of a smoker it's a different color. It's dark. It's grainy.
Gritty.
Yeah, gritty. Yeah,
yeah.
it really is. Yeah. So it's really interesting. And as you said, you're registered as a food business, so the safety standards have to be met as well.
Oh, of course. I've just recently launched my website last week. So
Lovely.
it's big milestones, but everything's accessible on that now. So I've actually put up all my certificates. So I'm trained with IPEN. It's a specialist like a placenta
Brilliant.
specialist business. And then also because the mums are consuming it, I'm also through food and hygiene. So environmental health comes out every year and basically examines my space. And thankfully I've had 2 consecutive years of a 5 food and hygiene. So
Excellent. Well done.
thank you.
And other services you said you do as well, along with a holistic approach. What is that you
So
offer?
I've really wanted this to be an experience for mums. As a mum yourself, I'm sure you know that whenever you just nearly need that wee clap in the back and just that hug of saying, well done, you've brought your wee baby airside safely. And for me, from my own personal experience, that's always something that I wanted, was not wanted, but it's just nice to be recognised
That's
of
it.
what you've done. And so, it's not just the capsules that you're getting with me. I've created a whole package. So from placenta tree of life, basically. It's
Okay.
a placenta print. So I paint the placenta with food colouring, and then you'll basically get a wee stamp of your own unique. It's beautiful. It really is like art.
Uh-huh.
I also dry out the cord, the umbilical cord, into a wee love heart shape, and then I frame that. And then just like wee goodies, like positive affirmation cards for mums. Do you know, just them wee days when you've got that like low slump and you just pick up that wee card and read it and be like, yeah, I'm doing it. And then there's also all the remedies apart from the capsules. So I offer a tincture. It's actually one of the most potent remedies that we can use because it's lifelong. And mums are actually using it now and keeping it for menopause, because I think now as well that, we're in a time where women are a lot more open and we're talking about the struggles, and it's amazing. But because the placenta is so high in natural hormones, this is like a liquid remedy. So mums then are keeping that then obviously for menopause. There is like an essence, so it's kind of like a rescue remedy, if you will. You can put a few drops alongside your capsules if you wanted your capsules to maybe last you a bit longer. And then a cosmetic oil, which is amazing. It's because the placenta again is so high in regenerative skin cells. It has so many healing properties. So a lot of mums, I've actually had mummy or woman that has messaged me, can you give me and I'm like, no, the placenta is uniquely to that mum, unfortunately. But yeah.
Well, because suppose when you look at that's my field, anti-aging. Now I've gone from the midwifery stuff to more anti-aging, and we talk about exosomes, and the best sauce and the youngest sauce is from the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
Obviously we can't use that here in Europe, but that's what they're doing in America.
I know.
So yeah, ladies, jump on that. If you got a placenta, definitely. I'm well past the placenta stage, as you can hear. I'm on the far side of that, but yeah, that's really interesting to hear that. So if people want to get in touch, how if the listeners are thinking, oh my God, this is for me, how do they get in touch with you, and where are you based?
Well, I'm based in Strabane, and I actually, as it says, I've just launched my website, which is www.mamaplacentaremedies.co.uk. You can also
say that slower so they got that.
mamaplacentaremedies.co.uk. You can also find me on all socials as well, which is Mama Placenta Remedies.
So you're on Instagram and Facebook. Are you on TikTok as well?
Yeah.
Oh, and Elite will start following you.
Oh,
Definitely. I'll tag you in as well.
Please do.
You can feel your passion. You definitely can. It's really interesting. Unfortunately, my babies are 18 and 17. So that wasn't around back then. I do remember reading about it. It's really interesting. So if people want to ask you questions, they can reach out onto your website. And thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome.
Local Women Magazine presents Local Women Podcast, the show for things that matter.